Tonight I'm going to be making a Spanish rice dinner. This is from the website a few shortcuts.com, and I'll put that over to the side. And to make it more weight loss surgery friendly, you can leave the rice out and basically have, I guess, like a Spanish rice meat stir fry. I don't know, but you can also substitute the ground meat with meat substitute, like the Morningstar crumbles or something like that. But tonight I'm making it the way the recipe calls, because I'm not going to be eating any of it because I'm on the 5-day get your rear in gear test. So this is how I'm going to make it, and you can just kind of tweak it to what you need. And if you're not weight loss surgery, the rice would be great. And even if you are, you could have a little bit of the rice if you wanted. But you could just leave that out and add the rice in with your family's dish, and then have you kind of like maybe like a little chili, something like that. So here are the ingredients. You need 1 pound of lean ground meat. This is ground turkey. You can use the meat substitute, which I would use for me if I were able to eat this tonight. And you could use lean ground beef. It calls for lean ground beef, so whatever you'd like. Next, you need 1 medium onion chopped. I don't know if this is a medium one. I just had some onion already chopped, and I just chopped it up a little finer. Then you'll need it calls for a half of a green pepper. This is probably, I don't know, maybe it's a small green pepper. It says for a half a cup chopped, but this is more than a half a cup there. Okay, then you'll need 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. And it calls for 1 cup of uncooked rice, but this rice is already cooked, so I'm just using it. It's brown rice. And then you need 1 can of, let's see, 15 ounce, this is 14.5 ounce can of diced tomatoes. I'm using the ones with the green chilies because it's a Spanish type dish. Okay, next you're going to need this seasoning mix right here. All that is, it calls for 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of sugar, which I don't have in here. I'm not going to add that, but you can add Splenda, Trevia, whatever you like, or the sugar if that is okay with you, because it's going to go for a whole recipe, so it may not be a big deal. Then you'll need 1 teaspoon of chili powder and a pinch of oregano, and all that is in there. I already mixed that together. And it also calls for 3/4 of a cup of hot water. Now that's if you're using the uncooked rice, and that's uncooked, I guess, white rice. If you have brown rice, of course, it's going to take longer to cook. So what we're going to do first, we're going to come over here. I'm going to get all the ingredients here, and then I will be right back. Okay, you get a large skillet, and I just sprayed it with some Pam. You can use olive oil if you like, and just heat that over, I'd say medium heat, whatever's best for your stove. First, I'm going to put in all the vegetables, and I have all those together. I'm going to put all that in here. Basically, you're just going to brown the meat with all of this. And like I said, if you're going to use the meat substitute, what you'd do is you'd have to do this kind of in 2 batches. So just spread all this out. I try to get the garlic mixed up so that it doesn't burn, because you don't want burnt garlic. Oh, also I have some mushrooms in here. It doesn't call for that, but I just had some to use up, so I just threw it in here. I just thought that would be fine. Okay, next we're going to do the meat. And this is the Plainsville Farms ground turkey that I always use for Joe. And I'm just going to go ahead and add the whole pound to this, so he can have leftovers. I'm having pureed soup. Yum. No, it hadn't been that bad. And stay tuned for that video as well of my day 1 of the test, if you're interested. Just kind of mix all this around, and what you're going to do, you're just going to brown this up until it's all combined and everything's brown, the vegetables are soft, and the meat is cooked through. I'm going to do that and I'll be back. Okay, now the meat is brown and the vegetables are mostly tender. And what you're going to do, I actually put a little bit of water in here, about a half a cup, just because I didn't want the garlic to burn and the meat is so lean that you needed something. So now, if you're following the directions of the actual recipe, what you'll do now is you'll add the uncooked rice and the seasoning and the tomatoes. Mix it well, bring it to a boil, reduce the heat, cover, and simmer for 20 to 25 minutes until the rice is tender. But I already have the rice cooked, so what I'm going to do is not add any more water. I did add some. I'm going to add the tomatoes, and this is just 1 can of diced tomatoes with green chilies. I'm going to add the seasoning that I blended up. And you could add anything else. Maybe some hot sauce would be good. And it called for a cup of uncooked rice. And this is cooked brown rice. And this is probably maybe a little over a cup. So you'll end up with 2 cups if you have the uncooked rice. But I just had this left over. And I'm going to just use this. So just incorporate this really well. And I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. Okay, this is what it looks like after it's combined. And like I said, you can add extra things. I actually added about a teaspoon or a little more of cumin because I think it would go well with this. And I also added probably maybe another teaspoon of chili powder. I just kind of shook it in there. But it looks a lot better now that I added some more. You could add crushed red pepper flake, you could add hot sauce, whatever you like, but I'm going to let this simmer. Now, if you did the uncooked rice, like I said, you would bring it to a boil, cover it, lower the heat, and then let it cook for 20 to 25 minutes until the rice is done. But since my rice is already done, I'm just going to leave it uncovered, let it simmer probably about 10 minutes, and just let everything really heat through and kind of marry together. And that is Spanish rice dinner. And I'm going to put the link to the website over here. And I'm going to plate this up and I'll show you the finished result. Okay, here's what it looks like all plated up. This is Joe's plate. Over here as a side dish, I just made some squash. I just cut it in half, roasted it, sprayed the pan, roasted it with garlic seasoning and red onion. And then this is the Spanish rice. Doesn't that look good? And I mean, really, if you haven't had weight loss surgery, I mean, I know there's some people who are subscribed to me who haven't. You can really have quite a bit of this. I mean, this, I don't even think this is half, because it's, a whole pound of meat, and that's not even half. It just kind of looks like a lot. So you could, within your calorie budget and, your points or whatever, you could have quite a bit. Now, if you've had weight loss surgery and you leave the rice out, you could have, depending on how far you're out, you could just use one of your half cup bowls or whatever you can eat now, up to a cup or whatever. I'm not even sure. It might be tough to eat a cup of this because it seems a little dense with the meat. But if you're not putting the rice, you could add some extra tomatoes or extra vegetables, something like that. So this is Joe's dinner for tonight, and I hope you guys will make it and give it a try and let me know how you like it. And I'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.